But let me ask you, Mr. Muda, you've been following how spendings across the, in the economy of Nigeria. 2018 will be a very crucial year. Do you see more jobs coming? Especially, it's a year of politics.
Yes, there are peculiarities for such years. Policy risk increases, political risk increases, uncertainty also increases. Of course, there are also some increase in election-related spending. For economic activities along the election value chain, printing of ballot papers, logistics, movement, ad hoc staff jobs, and all of that, there could be some positive impact. But more importantly, we could decouple the economy even from that process if we have the right kind of policies. I keep talking about policies.
They're important.
It is policies
are the bedrock of governance.
Exactly. That is what will bring investment. I mean, we just discussed the issue of oil and gas. There are some sectors in which the policies are stifling investment. Cost of operation, cost of production, you need to signal interest rates, foreign exchange, transparent, all those
issues. Are there positives, for example?
So those are the things
before we move into, are there positives, especially in some indicators that could help generate jobs, especially in the numbers that are encouraging for a government that is going through a third year and a very critical year that is for this government? Are there indicators like power, like transportation, those indicators that will gear investment?
You see, there are some indicators at the macroeconomic level. Our foreign reserves, for instance, has been inching up. It's well over, getting close to 38 billion US dollars or so. Our foreign exchange situation is also getting stabilized. Confidence is improving. Manufacturers are having better access now to raw materials. So at the macroeconomic level, the indicators are positive.
All right.
And these indicators are also impacting positively on confidence of investors.
Let's quickly take this break, Mr. Yusuf. Up next on the program, third tranche of Paris Club refund disbursed. And the plan is for states to offset workers' salaries and pensions. How much financial burden has this taken off the neck of the states? Find out after this time up. Welcome back, everyone. The final tranche of the Paris refund has been made, and states already confirming that the alert has entered. When you hear that, for workers who get salaries, alert is a very good word to the ears. Like we say in the local parlance, well, some state governors who are not owing salaries already letting the public know that the money will be used. When President Buhari met with a delegation of the state governors in October, he urged them to offset workers' salaries, pension arrears. The president wondered how some of the governors could even sleep when their workers are not being paid. A breakdown of the payment of what 27 states got is showing right there on your screen. Abia got 5.72 billion, Adama 6 billion, Akwa Ibom 10 billion, Anambra 6 billion. Well, it goes on and on for those states that have gotten. You can take a look, and whatever is happening to you, if you're working in any of these states and you've not gotten your December or November salary, then you need to tweet at us, let us know what is happening, and you need to start asking questions. Let's allow Mr. Yusuf to weigh in on this one. Third time, not a third time that we're seeing government getting funds to offset salary arrears and all of that. Do you think the right things have been done in some of these states?
Well, I think it depends on the priorities of the states, because this matter has both a constitutional dimension and a moral dimension. The moral dimension is that if you are owing workers, you ought to pay them, because that is their source of livelihood. They need to take care of their families and so on.
But some of these states even said they were insolvent at some point.
Well, part of the relief that that will bring some succor to them is this Paris Club refund. So I think they should put as a matter of priority, they should address the issue of salary arrears of their states. But having said that, the reality is that many of them are carrying a workforce that they cannot sustain. both at the state level and at the local government level. They are carrying a workforce that have been carrying at the time when their revenue was about 3 times more than what they have. And now their revenue profile has reduced, some by half, some by more than that. And they are still carrying the same level of workforce. That is clearly not sustainable. Although politically it may be difficult to deal with, but in terms of the economic or fiscal viability of the states, that issue needs to be tackled.
All right, because we need to...
very important.
Yeah, we need to go now. Mr. Nyetok, give us your intervention on this. States, a lot of them are in trouble. We are entering into a new year. Some of them are yet to pay salaries, even when they have some of these funds. Where do we go from here, structure-wise, if you can wrap up your interventions about 30 seconds or so?
For as long as we run an economy or a governance structure that is extremely opaque and far from being transparent, for so long will we continue to go around in this vicious circle. It's very simple, straightforward. You cannot pay a man on minimum wage of 18% or 18,000 per annum. But how much are you spending on government house feeding on a daily basis? What's the government house budget? What are the big organs earning at the end of the day relative to the little that these other people... We're just being very dishonest. We don't have a heart for the people. We just don't... All we think is politics, what we can gain, what we can grab. And I don't blame them. Until we, the people, take up the responsibility of profiling the people we elect into office, then and only then will we start to have a government and a governance structure that is responsive to the needs of the people, where the welfare and security of the people becomes the prime essence of governance.
We need to go now, Mr. Nyetok. Many thanks for your thought. Just before we go, everyone, I will share this very important message with our viewers. It's a tweet from the former Minister of Education, Obi Ezekwesili. It reads, and I quote now, "In the same land, there shall come a day when leadership ceases to be a comparison of levels of incompetency. When that time comes, we shall no longer hear, 'My incompetence is better than yours.'" That's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks to my guest, the former national chairman of YDP, Mr. Ezekiel Nyetok from our Abuja studio, and of course, Mr. Muda Yusuf, the MD of SCCI. Thank you so much for your time, as always. Always a pleasure. That's our show, everyone. Compliment of the season to you all. I'm sure Kimbaloe. Bye-bye.